there. President Obama is in St. Petersburg, Russia at this hour after a full day of meetings with his counterparts at the G20 Economic Summit. But it is the topic of Syria that's eclipsing all others and has the U.S. directly at odds with the host country. Senior White House Foreign Affairs correspondent Wendell Goler is traveling with the president tonight.
Mindful of the optics of their last encounter, Presidents Obama and Putin had smiles for the cameras at the start of the G20 summit in St. Petersburg. But the chemical weapons attack in Syria hung over the economic gathering like the fumes that killed 1,400 people last month, even though it wasn't officially on the agenda.
We were talking about the economy this afternoon.
Syria was discussed on the margins, but Mr. Obama's attempt to rally the group to punish the Syrian government seemed to go nowhere. Chinese officials warned more violence in Syria could impact the global economy. Pope Francis sent a letter to the summit asking the leaders to, quote, lay aside the futile pursuit of a military solution in Syria. Yesterday, the president said the action he's considering could be beneficial.
We can change Assad's calculus about using them again. We can degrade his capabilities so that he does not use them again.
Yet the Russians threatened to lift the hold they'd placed on a sophisticated missile defense system for Syria if the U.S. attacks, and they challenged the U.S. claim that Assad was responsible for the chemical weapons attack, sending the UN a report that blamed it on Syrian rebels. Putin also accused Secretary of State Kerry of lying about the percentage of extremists among Syria's rebel fighters. And today, Kerry's spokeswoman said the secretary is a combat veteran and was unfazed by Putin's comments.
He's had more than words aimed at him, so he's not losing sleep after such a preposterous comment that was based on an inaccurate quote and was completely mischaracterized.
The president says despite cold photo opportunities with Mr. Putin, their meetings can be productive. But with diplomatic progress in Syria stymied and Russia sheltering NSA leaker Edward Snowden, Mr. Obama also admits the so-called reset in U.S.-Russian relations is increasingly a disappointment.
We've kind of hit a wall in terms of additional progress. But I have not written off the idea that the United States and Russia are going to continue to have common interests.
The president has canceled the trip to California next week. He will stay in Washington lobbying members of Congress, trying to make sure they at least support military action in Syria that he says could keep Assad's government from launching another chemical weapons attack. Brett?
Wendell, it wasn't just President Putin making President Obama uncomfortable today, right?
The president sat next to Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff at both the working session and the dinner this evening, and the two had a one-on-one meeting in between. This after Edward Snowden leaked documents that suggest the NSA read email traffic between Rousseff and her aides. U.S. officials say they are trying to address the Brazilian leader's concerns, but she has canceled plans for an advance team to make preparations for a state visit in October, though she hasn't canceled the visit itself, Brett.
Wendell Goler traveling with the president in St. Petersburg. Wendell, thank you.